Hey, are you thinking of moving to Phoenix and don't want to live in a bad place? Well, today we're going to talk about the top 5 worst spots in Phoenix, so stay tuned. Well, hey guys, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. If you're wondering everything there is to know or want to know everything there is to know about living, breathing, and everything about the Phoenix metro area, you're in the right spot. I'm Josh.
And I'm Barbara, and we are your Scottsdale metro area real estate experts.
So we get a bunch of calls all the time, and we absolutely love it, about people asking about what it's like to live in Phoenix, or just reaching out trying to move here and figure out what their ideal spot is. And all we can say is please just reach out to us. We love getting those calls. So just call us, text us, shoot us a DM, even a carrier pigeon if you want. However you want to get a hold of us, we're here to help and make sure we can find your ideal spot to live in the Phoenix metro area.
So are you thinking of moving to the Phoenix metro area and you want to make sure that you end up in a great spot? Well, we're here to share with you some information that we found about places that you might want to know a little bit more about so you don't get stuck in a bad area. So we found a website.
Yep, this is by ESTA, which is kind of a pseudo-government website and a program that compiles a bunch of different crime statistic data, data from sources like niche.com and other conglomerates to put together a list of the areas, at least what we're talking about today, the ones that aren't so nice that you might want to avoid, or just aren't too bad in certain spots, but having some areas that you might want to be wary of. So we're just gonna go through and talk about the list that we have here, about all these different areas and exactly where in those specific areas that you might want to avoid, especially at night or other times.
Yeah, so we are real estate professionals, so we're not allowed to steer, so that's why we went to these websites to get this information for you. Now, it might be a good area for you. You know, it's all about personal preference. So we're just going to go through the information, like I said, that we found on this website, just to give you information about these areas. So think about them before you make your move to the Phoenix area. But again, you know, we're here for you. We can help you, you know, source these things and let you know what places to look so that you can find the best information about the different areas. So we make sure that you make a good decision when you move to the Phoenix area.
First on the list, according to the ESTA site, is Central City. Now, again, I just want to put this footnote here that we got this list from ESTA, and that in these areas there are some very nice areas that you might really enjoy, but again, they might have some spots to just be wary about. Okay. But first is Central City, which is the historic downtown of Phoenix, and they have about 56,000 residents there. Now, being the central downtown of a large metropolis city, you tend to have some issues some places with some crime and other things like that you might want to be wary of. Now, with this website, they are saying that according to the national average for crime statistics, they are 508% higher crime here in Central City than the national average. Now, again, the national average incorporates all different cities and towns of all different sizes. So this is not the most dangerous large metropolitan city, but compared to some smaller areas, it does have more crime.
Josh, does it say what kind of crime they have?
So it's a wide variety that they say here, from break-ins and other property crime to some panhandling and other occasional muggings and stuff like that. It's kind of like all types of crime that happen here.
Okay.
Again, it's the central, a large metropolitan city that has a population of about 5 million people. So you have tons of people going through it. Now, although only 56,000 people live there, a lot more go through on a daily basis or work there on a daily basis. Like any big city, there are quite a few homeless there and some other issues going around. So just stuff to be wary about. Now, they do recommend that you definitely stay east Central Avenue or north of Van Buren are the safest spots. And if you, the further west of Central you go and the further south of Van Buren, especially the southwest of that T junction between the two, it does get a little bit dicey. in terms of the location, and then might be more possible for some crime or other stuff.
Yeah, I think that area is a little bit more industrial too, so that kind of tends to attract, that type of clientele that, is going into the industries and things like that. So that might have some impact on the crime statistics for that area.
Absolutely. Now, because this is the core of Phoenix here, they do also have some of, if not the highest police presence as well. So there is help that can come and in a very timely manner. But definitely, according to the list, it is the #1 worst city or neighborhood in the Phoenix area.
But again, there are some nice areas. The historic district tends to, if you stay right within the historic district there, they have some very nice homes. Some of them are gated. So it is, there are sections that are still very nice in that area.
Yep, just because it's such a wide area, as Barbara just mentioned, it does vary drastically. And here we're just highlighting some of the spots to avoid, just to make sure everyone's clear about it.
So next on the list is the Alhambra area. Now this area is just north of the Phoenix downtown area. And the crime statistics in this area about 156% higher, 165% higher than the national average. So this area, there's the types of crimes. I think there's a lot of drug activity in the area. There's auto theft.
Some auto theft.
I think typical things that you're going to find in a major metropolitan area. But there is a lot of police presence. Similar to the other area of Phoenix. So they are taking safety precautions for this area.
Now this is a larger area, and it does drastically differ with the socioeconomics of it as well. According to the list, staying east of the 17 over by Grand Canyon University and the Grand Canyon University Hotel is the safest spot, and there has been nothing but good reviews about safety over on that part. Just west of the 17, depending on the area, can get a little dicey, just according to crime statistics here that have been conglomerated. It is a relatively larger section with about 135,000 people living in this central area. And again, with a densely populated area that spreads out and differs greatly on every single part, there are going to be some areas that are a little bit higher on the crime, and at least reported crime, than other areas. So that covers #2 on the list. Moving on to #3 of the list is the Encanto area. Now Encanto is a very nice area, certainly most parts of it at least, but according to the crime statistics and the list put forth here, they do have a population of about 54,000. And some of the areas are a little bit heavier on the crime rate than others. The overall area is about 145% of the national average, especially if you go west of 15th Street. They say it does get a little sketchy. They do recommend that you just be careful at nighttime, especially after 9 p.m. or so. Now this area is just north of downtown Phoenix and covers quite a wide array, or a wide area rather, east to west across the downtown area, going further east than all of downtown, all the way to quite a bit west of downtown, being just north of the 10, and then on the western border with the 17 there. So just again, be kind of careful in those specific areas. According to the crime statistics, they are a little higher. Most of the crimes here are property crimes. Mm-hmm. Some of the areas are a little bit older and a little bit smaller homes and stuff.
And I think there's a lot of renters that live in the area.
Yes.
And sometimes a high rent population can lead to a little bit more crime.
Absolutely.
Next up on the list is the South Mountain area. Now this area is kind of interesting. It's a very big area, and it is kind of divided in half by baseline. So it goes from baseline to the mountain to the south, and then from baseline up to the freeway, the I-10 or the I-17 to the north. Now the section to the south is very nice. They have a lot of newer gated communities. But the section to the north is where there's some issues. There's a lot of older homes, a lot of population where there might be a lot of renters. So there's some gang violence in this area, according to the report here. So it's just an area that you want to be careful of when you are considering a home in the Phoenix area.
Yep, it's an incredibly diverse area, full diversity, and specifically socioeconomically as well, with the homes drastically changing when you go south of baseline versus north of baseline. So just with that large differentiation there, with the list here that they compiled with the crime statistics, it is a little bit higher. They say that it's 1 in 22 chance of someone being involved in a crime, although I would say that depending on the area you are, and as long as you're careful and stuff, you could significantly lower that chance for you. But again, just one of those areas to be knowledgeable about, especially the different parts of the areas that you might want to go to. Again, according to the list, as long as you're south of baseline, you are going to be just peachy. Just be wary as long as if you're north of it.
You know, a lot of people do like living in that area, the south of baseline towards the mountain, because it is so convenient to downtown Phoenix. I know we both have friends that live in the area, and it takes them, what, 15, 20 minutes to get downtown?
Not even.
Or not even 10 minutes maybe. Like doctors, lawyers, a lot of, professionals live in the South Mountain area, as long as, again, you stay in the areas that we mentioned that are considered a little bit safer.
Yep, and in terms of the diversity, you have everything from multi-million-dollar properties, 5 to 10,000 plus square feet on the foothills of the mountain, ranging to ones that are 50 to 70 years old, under 800 square feet, so 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom kind of place. So
places that you might be a little dicey to live in.
Yep, so just an incredibly diverse area, and but definitely very nice as long as you're aware of it, and we're just here to help. So again, if you're interested in something like that, just reach out to us. More than happy to share all our information, point you to different references and sources. That way you can find some of the statistics that we aren't able to tell you directly, just because we're realtors. There's some information that we can't let you know to avoid steering, but just
and
reach out.
we just want to make sure that you make a good choice when you're coming to the Phoenix area.
So next up, and the final one on the list,
is the Levine area. Now this area is just a little bit west of the downtown Phoenix area and south, so it kind of hugs the I-10 freeway on both sides. And this is again another one of those really diverse areas. So there's some areas that are really nice and some areas that are not so nice. Now, crime-wise, I think you said that their violent crime is like only 64% of the national average.
Yep, violent crime is down.
So the types of crimes that they do have, I would imagine, are auto thefts.
Mostly auto theft, petty theft, petty crime, some property crime, and things of that nature. Now, in this area as well, they do say to avoid along the Salt River, the bottom of the Salt River up to 7th Street, and then from there over to 48th Street should definitely be avoided. But there are plenty of other areas which are quite nice in the Levine area. So if you're curious about that, again, just reach out to us. But that is the number 5 on the list here for worst neighborhoods. But again, like all of these, are plenty of great spots to live in, and it might be perfect for you in some of these excellent spots in the community. So again, we want to help you out, so just make sure to reach out to us so we can help guide you to find your ideal area that you'd like to live in. So that covers the top 5 worst neighborhoods in Phoenix, according to ESTA, taken in the crime statistics and a conglomeration of a bunch of other websites such as niche.com. Again, if you are interested about any of these communities, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to help and want to help guide you to find your ideal spot.
Well, if you like that video, please go ahead, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe, because we post new videos every single week, and we love sharing the information about the Phoenix metro area with you.
Well, thanks for joining us. See ya.